Sorry it took a while. I was just trying to make sure I had time today to do it and that I wouldn't be interrupted. And I think it's been long enough in the day. I think I can do this. So, the man. I don't like referring to him as my father. It's easy to call him that to others to make it understandable. Sometimes I just say the man though. My mother started to notice that. That got her concerned about why I don't like him, even though she doesn't even like him. We talk about that a lot, honestly. My mother, they don't like each other, the two. So my mother has literally told me she views my father as more of a roommate than a partner. I think that says enough, right? So, there's not very good men in my family. I can most notably see that on my father's side of my family. My half-brother from... Oh, boy. Let me get into that later, actually. So, my father is from Central America. He's from another country. I don't feel like giving too much... You can Google him, probably. He's probably on Google somewhere, man. He's a politician over there. Let me look up his alias real quick. See if I can. That easy. I found him. So. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that easy. I can literally look him up. So, he's from another country. He's from Central America. And his father was a very strict Christian man. So my father really resents Christianity quite a lot. In fact, down in his office downstairs, he reserves the whole open room as his own office. I see a few books on there on black magic and Satanism and the lies of the Bible. Those are the types of books that he has in there. All in Spanish. I had to translate those in my head when I saw the titles. Crazy stuff. He's not even a Satanist, but he just has a Satanismo book down there for some reason. I don't know. But, yeah, when he was like 16, he fled the country illegally and came over here. And ever since then, he hasn't gotten citizenship. He's tried, though. They just haven't brought him back in to do the questions. They just haven't given it to him, honestly. That's all it is now. He's 50 now. He's tried for a while. But, the way my parents met, my father was, like, my mother went to a dance, and, she was, like, in heels. She got all dressed up. She was excited to go to this dance. I know nothing about the place. It was just some place she went to. It's not like a school dance. No, I think she was, like, out of school by this time. Was she? She might have been in college, actually. I think she was, yeah. If I'm putting the pieces together in my head. And she met my father. She was in heels. She got very tired after a while. She went to the only open seat she could find nearby, and it was like just one open seat at a table full of other guys. My father was there. So my father and all of his friends. And that's where they met. Gave him the phone number. Later that night, no, the day after, something like that, he calls just to make sure it's real. And, yeah, this is all in Boston. So they met, up north, all the way up there in Boston. And they were there for a while. My brother was, born, and my mother had to leave college to raise him. Very unfortunate. And, my father was going to leave Boston. He was going to come down to Wilmington because he didn't like the weather up in Boston. And my mother could have just, like, she tells me her biggest regret is following him to Wilmington. She wishes she didn't do that. She wishes she didn't move away from her entire family. Shocker, I know, right? Like, it wasn't worth it to her, even though that would have meant I wasn't born. She still says it'd be worth it. I don't blame her, honestly. But, she moved. They didn't get along well, and after a while, they divorced. And she kept demanding things like child support, bringing milk. He never did that. And so she was like, oh, this is a horrible person. Let me just find someone else. Because, like, she followed him to Wilmington so that my brother would have a father figure, you know? So she tried to find someone else so that my brother could still have a father. Her whole family blamed her for that. From what I remember in the story when she told it to me. She did not get good feedback about that stuff. And the guy she found was not even a good guy. He was horrible, too. He was like, he objectified her quite a lot, mistreated my brother. I don't feel like giving away his name. He doesn't deserve that. He mistreated my brother. That's how I refer to him, brother. So, so that ended pretty quickly, and then she went back to my father. And my mother, over many years, has had many jobs. She's worked in like all sorts of places, so many places, she probably can't even count all the jobs she's had. Her first one, she moved to America. She wasn't good with English. She worked at a cake store, something like that, whatever it was. She was taking calls for orders, but like hearing your second language over the phone, it's not very good. So that job didn't last long. She had a bunch of jobs. Apparently, they don't pay all people who work at hotels. Who knew? So, my father ended up making a business. And this isn't the only source of like work, career thing my father has. He's also a politician in his home country. That's why I say you could probably look him up if you knew his name. He is a big politician. He's being interviewed right here. In fact, search his name up again in this thing. Oh, here's him with a big economist in that country. So that's something. But yeah, that business he has. It's roofing and flooring, pretty much. Mostly flooring. They kind of paint walls sometimes too. It's like normal home stuff when you first get a house or you need to redo stuff in your house. So like over here, they redid a lot of stuff when we moved in. They did all the floors they always did our carpeting, and then we decided it's probably better to just get wood floor so we don't have to keep changing carpets. So we did that. The roofing is changed. I told my friend about this stuff. He said it was a very stereotypical job to have for a Hispanic couple. I swear, I keep telling stuff about my family. People say, oh, that is really stereotypical. How do you not see that? And I genuinely don't know this. Like, one of my cousin's names is Maria Jose. I never realized that was a stereotypical name until my friend brought it up. So, but yeah, and when I was born, I think it was like 1 or 2 times by the time I was alive that my parents divorced again. So, so when I was like really young, he wasn't really there. Knew not much about him. I hear a noise behind the door. Hold on. All good. Anyways, I didn't really see him when I was younger. I didn't have much of a connection with him. So when he showed up, I have a vivid memory of him, like of first seeing him, or at least one of the first times of ever seeing him. He shows up, and I don't know who he is. I was like a toddler at this time. so like well, I guess this was one of the first times I remember him. I do know that like when we used to live in a house originally, he was with us obviously because that was like we moved to a house right as I was like born pretty much. I don't know where they were before. I don't know. And then stuff happened where we then moved from that house to an apartment, and then in that apartment between there stuff happened the first time, and then another time I don't remember when. I was like a toddler. I just know that like he came back when I was like 7, and they got officially married again when I was like 7 or 8. Something like that, yeah. We went from house to apartment to another apartment to another apartment before finally being here in a house again. Finally. Oh, going up in the class system. We're not at all. But I didn't have much of a connection with him when I was younger, so like, but like he always tried stuff, you know. And now it's like, but like I didn't talk to him that much, but after a while he started doing this thing where like, whenever he saw me, he would like ask for a hug to the point where if I don't give him a hug, he gets upset, and I think that's trying to be his way of like ingraining in my mind we're supposed to be friends. Come on, I really don't like it. I really hate having to do it, man. We're keeping there for so long. It feels like he genuinely gets upset. I don't know why. It's too quiet outside. Hold on. We're in the clear. There's no one outside. But like, it's so weird. But yeah, I'd say he was probably neglectful. The more I look into it, the more I start to realize things like not having a connection, and also so young. Like something, like when I'm a toddler, I can finally walk. I can finally understand speaking. He no longer needs context. He can literally just say the phrase, "Do me a favor," and I immediately know I'm supposed to go into the other room, grab him a beer, give that to him, maybe even bring in a bottle opener. That was just ingrained in my mind for a long time, up until, like, towards the end of middle school, he finally stopped doing that. Which is crazy because, like, but by the time I was, like, 8, somewhere around being 8, we moved to this house. It's like over the summer after the school year, we moved to this house, and so I was like, so the thing about that is that like this house is bigger than an apartment, obviously. So if he did it in an apartment, I could hear it from literally the room right next to where he's from, because he'd be sitting in the living room, and that's like, the living room's right here, door right here, my bedroom. Meanwhile, we're in a house, he's in his office, and he has to yell that. The only way I'm gonna hear it is if I'm downstairs. He's in his office, a few steps up, and I'm still in the downstairs area. Then I'd still hear it. Otherwise, I'm upstairs all the way, and then to the left in my room. I'm not gonna hear that. Used to have my door open all the time though, so I probably still heard it. I don't think he ever did it when I was upstairs. I don't remember that. But it took me so long to really think about the fact that that's like stereotypical neglectful father. I remember literally like doing a thing in theater. My character was like, I guess it was kind of vague, my character's lines, because every time a new person saw me rehearse it with my co-actor, they always told me to characterize it in a incredibly different way. I just did it normally. Someone else tells me that character seems like he's probably mocking this person. I think that's what it is. Then another person's just like, no, he genuinely thinks this way. Let's just do that instead. And then finally, um, these two guys in my theater class, they say, this guy is trying to make fun of them. They think they're genuinely stupid, and they're trying to get to them. Try and really invoke anger, not anger, but like a bad person. Try and really seem like a bad person. The other character was a woman in this scene. She's like, make him a womanizer, make him misogynistic. Let's make him like horrible, like a bad parent. So one of the people literally asked me with a straight, like with most sincerity, were you abused by your parents? Crazy question to be asked. I say, neglectful father. That's all. And suddenly, the scene that they are presenting right in front of me, both of them, improvised on the spot to help me figure out my character. Exactly what my childhood was. They showed it to me right in front of me. And I was like, oh, that's not normal. I don't know how I didn't figure that out for like so long. I'm 15 now. By the time this was happening, this was like this is literally a week from my birthday, I remember now. Yeah, I was almost 15 by this point. It took me that long to figure that out. But, back to the thing I was trying to say before. My father owns a business for flooring and roofing. I found out the company name at some point, decided to look it up in front of one of my friends. The website had my address on it, had our address on it, apparently, which was, I don't know why he did that. You don't need it, you just need the contacts, the people, for serve it. I don't know. So, one of my friends accidentally found out my address from that and now knows how to find it. But, at that business, he's like, I'm starting to really figure out, he's like a big businessman now. I think my father's rich. I don't know how much he makes from this business, but it's gotta be a lot. You know what I see literally, minutes ago walking downstairs, putting a giant TV in his office. This is massive. This is too big for any normal person. Let me show the size of the original one, which he bought at some point when he was renovating the office again. Which, like, no idea how he even got that one. Let me show, like, the size that original one was at. It was like this in comparison. It's like normal size TV. It's different in person, seeing like the original TV and then seeing this thing, and this thing is like massive, genuinely. What I was thinking, where do you get the money for this stuff? And I remember, right, businessman, politician, that stuff. But yeah, my so he makes a lot from that job, but you know what? The only people that work there are my mother and kind of my brother too. He technically works there as well. My mother makes 100 to 200 a week. That's what we live off of. Looked that up. I already knew we were doing badly, but I looked it up. That is just straight poverty. It's very hard to get groceries. One week we had only 100. It was probably closer to like 120 that week. But like, we needed the 20 for later that night for something, and so we pretty much only had 100. We tried to stay within that and not have to use up the 20. We almost could not afford groceries that week, not even kidding. And a week right after that, I got into an argument with someone, with one of my friends, kind of friends. He he kept messing with my bass guitar, and I kept saying like, "Stop touching it. You're genuinely gonna break it." Cause and he was just like, "Just get a new one, man. If it breaks, it's fine. I mean, there's already some rattling from the E string. It's probably broken already. Doesn't matter." Horrible excuse. He's like, "What do you mean get a new one if it's broken? I'm not getting a new one, ever. We're never affording one for as long as I live. This stuff is expensive." He's like, "How did you afford it before?" "They saved up for a year to get this thing." From the very birthday before, they immediately start saving up until they find out there's something that I like that does need that much money. And they found it after a while. And now I got this thing I really don't want other people touching. I really don't want anyone else to mess with it, because I know I'm not getting another one. I don't want them to have to get another one. We don't do well, man. It's a lot of sounds outside. It gets loud every once in a while. I don't know why. Father's in the other room. I'm gonna have to cut this until I know he gets downstairs. I'll be right back. Saw it right before I finished recording the last one. It was like 21, 22 minutes long. That's wild already. But about that job, that business my father owns. My mother tried to quit at some point. Like, she doesn't make a lot. She works 2 jobs. She because like when it pretty much be basic knowledge. Like, if you want to get a job and you want to, like, after the interview, it's an easy job. You're just gonna get the job, do the interview. You're perfectly fine. You know what job that is? McDonald's. She works there now as a second job, all the way from 6:45 to 12 o'clock. She doesn't get a lot of sleep. And very early in the morning, she has to do my father's business every day. And it gets very far. It's all around North Carolina, honestly. They go very far. Most of their jobs so far have been in Jacksonville. It's pretty far away from here. But, But she considered quitting my father's business and working only at McDonald's, despite the fact that's not a good way to live. She was thinking maybe she'd find another job as well. She couldn't. She couldn't get another one. Tough market out there, And so she kind of had to go back. The reason she left is because my father, she told us that apparently, like, I could see, like, my parents were arguing a lot recent times. Like, they argue every once in a while, of course, as, like, normal bad parents do. All of the time it's in Spanish, though, every time. Either because, like, they just default to that. Like, you're not thinking clearly, you're just angry, you're gonna default to that. Or probably because they know we're gonna listen. However, Spanish is my first language. I don't speak it fluently, but they spoke it to me so much when I was younger that even though I don't speak it fluently anymore, I can understand so much of what they're saying. So I always understand what they're arguing about every time. My brother has no idea. He was never taught Spanish. He has no idea what they're talking about. I was looking at them, understanding words in between, and other words I didn't know, I figured out very easily, just for, like, pattern. All of that, and I look at them and I figure out body language too. I'm very good with that too, and, like, expressions. I can just figure out what they're talking about every time. recently it's been about a lot of the same stuff. My they've been arguing a lot. She wanted to quit the job because they don't get along, and apparently at that business, since my father is pretty much the boss, he apparently was like mentally abusing my mother working there. It's a bad job too. All the time she would show me like another scar she gets on one of her hands from like a cut, accidentally banging it with a hammer, accidentally banging it with like a chisel like thing that you put in between like the wall and the floor with those carpets. A bunch of things all the time. It's harsh physically, and now she's got a like a mentally abusive boss pretty much. It's not good. So she wanted to leave, obviously, but she came back because she wasn't making enough without the job. That's her main source of income, and it has been for like as long as I can remember. So weird to imagine. My mother never finished college, technically, and my father never finished high school. My grandparents on my mother's side never actually went through elementary school. Well, my grandmother went up to third grade, and then her family couldn't afford it anymore, and that was it. So neither of my grandparents are good at reading. That's besides the point. Education is weird in my family. But, yeah, so that's the stuff about my father. And I don't know when in the story it happened, but my father is also, I think, probably fully married to another woman, too. I don't know her name. But I have two half-siblings. In fact, I am a half-uncle to two kids, and I am 15. They're way older than me. It's been going on for a while. You know about this stuff. My half-sister, I don't think she's the older one. It's possible, though, I don't know. She had a child first. She had a son. And this was when I was in, like, this was, like, 2 years ago it happened. She's a good person, genuinely. Nothing bad to say about her at all. My half-brother, on the other hand, my mother never liked him. He was not very responsible. But, like my father and my half-brother were, like, inseparable, honestly. And, a while back, my half-brother went to jail for robbing a place. I think it was robbing a place. Something like that. Some kind of robbery, I'm pretty sure. He went to jail, called my father, and was like, "You gotta bail me out, man." And my father didn't do that. He said he was gonna teach him a lesson by not immediately bailing him out. And then a week later, he bails him out, thinking that's been long enough. What? You're supposed to be in there way longer. But even with that, my half-brother was not happy about that. So, like, at some point, a while after that, my father, left and lied that he was going to a friend to pick up some tools. Which, kinda should have realized that wasn't real because, like, by this point, all of his friends that he recruited to his business also quit. For the same reason my mother originally tried to. So, shouldn't have believed that. He went over to, my half-brother, and, I thought something happened and, like, very quickly my half-brother, like, attacked the man. And that wasn't very good, so my father leaves, and then, like, sometime later, I don't remember it all, I haven't told the story in a while, my half-brother shows up in a van with a bunch of other guys we don't know to our house. I didn't realize this was happening. Maybe I was at school when it was happening, or maybe I was just like, I locked myself in my room like I do a lot now. So I had no idea any of it was going on, but apparently it happened at some point. And it's crazy. They called the cops because like he was trespassing. So they call the cops, and they find that my half-brother seems very not good, like not sober. That plus the fact that like this very unsober aggression, plus the fact that in his van was a ton of money, a lot of it. They don't know where it came. Like you piece two and two together, it seems like he was on something, and maybe he was like a dealer or something crazy. So he went to jail again, and I think he's still in there. This whole story took place like maybe a whole week after his daughter was born. Like that's, and I'm gonna be honest, I hope that, I really don't know what's gonna happen when he gets out of jail and he has to go back to that daughter, if that's how it ends up happening. I hope she has to like come over to here with us, honestly, because the mother is not good either. That mother has had like 3, 4 children, I don't remember, before that with other people. The first one, she was still in her home country. She left that one there with her grandmother or mother, I don't know. Left that child there in that country, came over here, had another one, left that in an adoption center. It's not a good person. I think there might have been more to that story, I just don't remember. Unless I am getting it wrong and it was just those two, it's possible. But even with just those two, that's like not good. So I'm scared what's gonna happen with this one. I'm hoping that like this one just comes over straight to us at some point. But it's been a while. I don't know. Also, we call the baby Juliet. That's her middle name. We say that because like, God, her first name was an awful choice. Ernestina. Who picks that? Where do you come up with it? It's named after her grandmother, apparently. Even so, that's not a good name to choose. Ugh. But yeah. But yeah, these aren't good people. And my father, I genuinely think he's like some sort of manipulator. He's already like a mental abuser. He was to my mother, and like they don't have a connection anymore. But my father is I feel like he's trying to form artificial bonds with me and my brother, and my brother seems to have fallen for it. He just listens to everything he says now. I genuinely though, he just listens to everything he says now. It's not good. And like, I haven't fallen for any of it. And so my father seems like he's still trying to work towards it and acts like everything's normal, but I think he did realize that like, to some degree, it hasn't worked yet. I can see through all of it. I don't like this man. And so he tries, so like all the time, even to this day, he still does that thing where like anytime he sees me, he like asks for a hug, gets upset if I don't automatically give him one. Keeps striking an uncomfortable conversation. One time, I was just practicing the piano. He randomly interrupted me to say I looked like a bum and that I was poor. I don't know why he did that. And I got really, really scared to have to cross his path in this house again at some point. So I was like very upset, and I completely forgot the next time I saw him to hide my hands because I had started painting my nails by this point. He sees that, got really upset at that. Just seeing all of it. conservatives. Oh, he's also a conspiracy theorist. He thinks the Earth is flat and stuff like that. But that's not even. I don't have much to say about that stuff. That's all there is to that part. But But he genuinely thinks he convinces me. But like he doesn't. He just doesn't. This thing keeps going inwards. Anyways, but it's something he does every once in a while. It hasn't happened this summer yet. It's not even restricted to just summers though. It just happens every once in a while. He will randomly like just not care for what my schedule might be at all or what I'm already doing or planning to do. He will just randomly show up to my room, and most of the time he'll like give me some sort of gift or like give me a pretzel, try to act all nice, like, hey, how are you? I got this for you. You having a good day? Okay, meet me in 30 minutes downstairs. We're going out. Like, he just, out of nowhere. He's just like, you doing anything? I mean, not currently, but I was good. Okay, downstairs, 30 minutes. And then we're just doing, like, field work outside for, like, the whole day. He does nothing, but I'm stuck there doing meticulous tasks outside. No matter the temperature, it's usually incredibly hot outside when it happens. One time I almost passed out because of how hot it was, like a heat stroke or something. We just kept going. It just kept having to happen. And like, I don't understand how, like, I don't know. So yeah, I don't like gifts. That's like probably the main reason I don't like gifts. But the celebration of giving gifts is also something I really don't like. This is probably still like part of that though. The idea of having to get the gift. I don't like that. It always feels like I need to give something back. I need to do something, or like they're just doing it to seem kind for some reason, and something else is going on. Because like my father gives me a gift, it's because I have to do work for it. My mother gives me a gift, it's because she wants to seem nice giving a gift, and she wants spectacle out of it. I don't like receiving gifts. And I don't, like, Christmas is a nice time, but you don't have to keep talking about the presents. I really don't care. And I don't like celebrating my birthday. I don't tell any of my friends when my birthday is. The word feels weird in my mouth. A lot of words are like that though, so who cares? But I don't like that day. I don't tell anyone when it is. They can ask me what my age is, and like, I'll just say my age, and then out of nowhere, one day, boom, now the answer is 15 out of nowhere. They have no idea how that happened. And my friends, like, one of them cared, and one of them cared about it and was just like, you're not going to tell me? No, I don't like celebrating that day. I don't like getting gifts either. It's like, I don't like this. It's like, fair enough. So they knew why I didn't like it. But this one other friend, they heard it because I was like in a car crash like an hour before I had to do a play at school. Me and a few other guys. So we all got, let me show you guys something. Cover the bottom part of it. That part's not supposed to be shown, but you're just getting interrogated, but why? Whatever. After that car crash, and with that, one of my friends literally heard me have to say my birthday to the cop, and memorized it. So like, out of nowhere, my the one friend I was just like that understood why I didn't like it. We do this weird thing where every once in a while we'll just say "very merry on birthday" whenever it's not one of our birthdays, and then we say it. We could say it any day except for when it is the birthday, of course. And then on my birthday, that friend is just like, "very merry on birthday" to everyone except one person in particular who I won't name. Said that in the group chat, and then that friend memorized it. Just goes, "Oh, and very happy birthday to Lou." I told you I don't like this stuff. Please stop paying attention to it. I don't care for this stuff. I really don't want to be celebrated. And I don't like what comes of it. Where was I going with this? I don't know. a horrible day. I don't like this stuff, and I don't like getting gifts, because something's always wrong with these gifts. Something's not good about them. I love to give things to other people. I don't just like whittle it down to 2 celebrations a year to give it to them, though. I just give them stuff whenever it's like seems right. So I don't I don't waste it on just 2 times a year. But those 2 times, especially, I would not want any gifts. But outside of that, in general, don't get me stuff. But yeah. There's all of that. This thing's already like, doing the math right, it's like 40-minute long video. Oh god. Just to add another thing really quickly. I was talking about a specific thing way earlier in this video when I was talking about an argument where I was like understanding every word, and I was like, any words I didn't understand, I figured out their patterns and context. And I was looking at body language, and I could figure that out really easily. It was after my parents were having a really tough time with each other. They were really not getting along, and I was thinking, they're separating again, aren't they? At some point, they're gonna do it, I bet. It's gonna lead to that point. They never did. But, and my mother even told me the only reason they don't do it is because, like, she needs the job that he owns, and I guess, like, he stays here under a green card, so they kind of have to stay together. But, the argument I saw, me and my brother were both watching it from upstairs. I could see, like, my father was even more drunk than usual. He drinks every day, all the time. That's, like, the only thing he drinks is alcohol. He's been an alcoholic for as long as I can remember. That's just him. He was especially drunk, though, this time. Like, I'll see him drunk every once in a while. It's not too different from his sober self, though. He can stay fairly sober while drinking. But somehow this one time, he was really sloshed and really upset. So, yeah, an argument again about how he's, like, they don't appreciate him enough in this family, and they're like, he does a lot, and, like, he should have, like, he should be equal over owning us children of his. He doesn't, I don't think he has legal custody of me. He's not even on my birth certificate. Like, literally, we do legal stuff, and the people will literally have to ask who my father is, because they don't know. They don't see any record of it. So like, they have to ask my mother, like, who is he, and we gotta, like, figure this stuff out. She's like, oh, he doesn't have one. Don't worry about it. And then that's that. We don't have to do anything anymore. Got my ID renewed. Same exact thing happened. It's like, we also need the father to sign as well. He doesn't have one. No? Not at all? No, he's not on his birth certificate. As you can see, he doesn't have one. Doesn't matter. Oh, fair enough. I guess we don't need that then? Like, I could see, like, the body language was like, my father was, like, really hectic. He was, like, all around. My mother was, like, on the brink of tears. I could hear her voice was, like, quivering. And she was, like, very closed in sort of posture the entire way through. She was not feeling safe. And my brother was worried. It's like, my brother's been so convinced by my father, he doesn't even think about that time anymore. I still think that exact moment a lot. My brother doesn't think of anything that happens between those two, to the point where he's been so convinced he works for my father. And my mother has tried to convince him in the past to not work for her. But it still happens. My brother's just way too easily convinced. He just goes with whatever he's told, honestly. I told this to one of my friends. One of my friends has, like, a PTSD. He's a 5th grader, and he has already, like, PTSD trauma. So I was talking to him on like a very personal level for like the first time I ever heard about his story. He heard about mine, and he got really concerned when I brought up the fact that my brother has been fully convinced by my neglectful and manipulator father, and brought into his uh, job that's not very safe or good to start out with, because he didn't know where else to even work. My brother doesn't know what other job to get. Like, he was so easily convinced because, like, thinking my father's a good person because my brother's autistic. He doesn't know what's going on. Oh, that really concerned my friend, hearing that part of the story. Like, oh, and he's been convinced that easily because, and by that horrible man. But yeah, after the argument, that argument was not resolved. It did not end properly. But they acted like it was because the whole time they knew we were watching. So they just acted like it was fine afterwards. And that convinced my brother, just like, see, they resolved it, man. I was listening the whole time. They did not resolve it. It was not solved. But after that, they didn't dwell on it anymore. They stopped talking about it, and now I haven't seen them talk that much since then. This was a while ago, honestly. So yeah,